You know, Brandon, it's always going to be a good night when we come on here laughing already before we've even had a pour, because we always know what those pours do to us.
Yep.
But we got a cool guest. It's been a while since I talked to him. I don't think you were part of it all back then when Jason was kind enough to come on the show at the first time. So, Brandon, how you doing? I know it's cold. You know, cold weather came back in. You doing
It
good?
did.
Staying warm?
It did. I am staying warm. I just come back from the warm tropical land of the Caribbean and come
Ooh.
back home to this cold mess. But oh well, it's part of it. But I'm excited. I'm excited for our guest, Jason. And like you said, we always start out laughing before we even hit the cameras rolling. Man, it's gonna be a good night.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, and I'm excited about these pours because we've done some reviews in the past of Buzzard's Roost, and I've had a lot of good time on those. So let's introduce our guest. He's the co-founder, master blender for Buzzard's Roost, Jason Brauner.
Hey,
Welcome.
thanks for having me. I know had some glitches, but thanks for having me.
Hey, technology works only when you want it to, right? Or not when you want it, or something like that. I forget what that saying
It
is.
never works for me. We'll just call it that.
I don't know how to talk, so it's okay. You fit right in.
I don't know how to
Yeah,
use the internet. So
I was gonna say I
maybe
haven't even
as
had a
maybe
pour.
as three people we can be one. You know,
Yeah, yeah. It's all in the cloud somewhere.
right?
Well, as we get into this, we'll knock out our first pour because we've got four fun ones tonight. I'm really excited about. The first one is your signature double oak bourbon. So, what can you tell us about your signature double oak bourbon? Because I think you just redid it in the last couple of years, right?
Well, we actually redid the label, and we brought some people in that I think they knew what they're doing. But I mean, I like to make whiskey, and the labels. I thought the labels were good, but apparently they needed to be better. So we redid the label, and the signature double oak is trying to get on like the bartender's friend. To make some cocktails out of it. I mean, some of our whiskeys, we do our double barreling, and it costs a little bit more. I mean, some of the prices are up there a little bit, and we acknowledge that. So we tried to get that down, and we worked really hard to bring a good whiskey to the table at an affordable price. And it's kind of an entry. It's kind of our entry level, but we also wanted the bartenders to be able to make. To put it on their cocktail lists and things. So that's a very important part of having a whiskey brand is having something that the bartenders, because they're on the front lines of it, to where they can make some cocktails and make it affordable.
Yeah, the nose is fantastic on this.
Oh yeah.
I think it really it keeps with our our portfolio. So it definitely. I love it. It's an entry. It's an entry level to the brand, and it's good for some people that might not know what it is, and it's in the 50.
Is it 100 proof?
It is.
Okay,
It is. Yeah.
but $45 is that right? Ish.
Yeah, I think it's it depends what state you're in, but yeah, around $45. Taxes are different, and I don't
Oh yeah.
really know.
Some of those places, the taxes are just as much
Yeah.
as your bottle.
Alabama's ridiculous, but I'm not really cognizant to all those. We try to put it on the shelf at about 45, $47. So hopefully it could be a daily drinker, and it's right at 100 proof. I don't think it drinks 100. It drinks kind of light for me, but I love it. It's got our flavor profiles in there.
I think it's fantastic. For 40,
Thank you. Yeah.
40, $45, whatever it is. I mean, hell, let's just call it under 50 if you can find it. I mean, that's an all day,
Yeah.
like all day, like you said, everyday drinker. I mean, super. It's got a ton of flavor in it, obviously.
And
I
like
agree.
I said, it's double oaked,
Yeah.
so, you
Yep.
know, I don't know if it's as heavy as Woodford or whatever. It's a little bit lighter than Woodford. It's double oaked, and but I think it's a nice entry to our brand.
But
that
I
we
think
do.
Yeah, I think also, correct me if I'm wrong though, but I think Woodford's is 90 proof, I
Yeah,
believe.
it
So
is.
you guys are at 100 proof, and that's in our wheelhouse. So
Yeah,
that's extra points for me
I think
anyway.
Woodford's always 90.4, but
Yeah,
maybe I don't know the other way. Maybe it's different, but
yeah, but I'm pretty sure.
we
But
don't do anything under 100 proof. You know, I've been in the whiskey
we're
business long enough, but ours drink sneakily. You know, they
mm,
are very sneaky, and even our barrel strengths drink kind of lighter than they
yeah.
appear.
Well,
Well,
we'll
it's
get
super
along just
flavorful.
fine.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I'm excited too because, like I said, Brandon and I have loved a lot of what you've done. I think the toasted rye might be one of
Yeah,
our all-time favorites that we've ever had. And
yep.
so, is this one a high rye mash bill? It's a mash bill? What's its setup?
Yeah, so the only whiskeys we do they're 21% rye or 36% rye. Um, we do a wheated mash bill that's a high wheat, which is 45% wheat. But I mean, we're very transparent in what we do. We do source whiskey. I think hopefully people know that. Um, we source everything from MGP, most everything. But we do all our contract work through BBC, and then BBC owns Green River, so we're contracting some new make out of Green River. But we're all about the barrel maturation. So we have 17 proprietary toast profiles. We toast all of our barrels. Everything we do is double oaked right now. So we buy stuff from MGP, ship it to Bardstown Bourbon Company. They rebarrel everything for us, and then they secondary age it. It's all brand new oak. We do 17 different toast profiles. We use a char one, which is kind of unheard of in the industry, because when you toast the barrels, you bring the sugars to the surface, and if you're burning back a char four, which is about 55 seconds at most cooperages, we do ours for 15 seconds. So it's still charred, but if a char four is like this, a char one's like this, what are you doing? You're burning the sugars that you just brought to the surface. Does that make sense? Because
Yep.
when you toast a barrel, the sugars come to the surface to heal that wound. If you've ever seen a tree with a branch cut off, you'll know that there was a branch there because the sap goes to heal that wound. The same thing as if you toast a barrel, the sugars rush to the surface. And so we have 17 different profiles that we bring to the surface. And if you use a char 4, you're just burning back the sugars that you brought to the surface.
Makes sense.
So
I
we
like
use a
it.
char 1. It's easier for our liquid to get through to the toasted layers that we've developed, and we haven't destroyed them with a char 4. So there's a lot of data that goes into what we do. I work with the head of the wood research department at Independent Stave Company. I've been working with him for over 7 years, and that's his job. And he makes wine barrels, whatever. He develops wood, and that's what he does. So we're kind of wood geeks.
You may not know how to, work the internet, but you know how to make
Hey,
some tasty bourbon. And you know, as I'm enjoying this pour, for those that don't know, you also are part of Bourbons Bistro there in Louisville. How did you get into bourbon? How'd that lead to Bourbon Bistro and so forth?
Well, that's where I actually got started. I started my first restaurant when I was 21 years old. So I had a lot more time than they have money, and now I have no time and no money. Hopefully one day I'll have a lot of time and a lot of money.
yeah, I don't want
So you got to figure that out. But no, I started a little pizza joint when I was 21 and loved the restaurant business, and then decided to open Bourbon's Bistro. It'll be 21 years this April. So like I said, being in the restaurant business, I wanted to start another restaurant, but I wanted something else to kick it. And we used to love to drink bourbon, and then started doing some research on it. That back then, 20 years ago, I mean, think about what anybody was doing with bourbon. Obviously the industry was doing what they could, but we were out to educate the world about bourbon. And to have a good restaurant as a backdrop, but have a great bourbon bar is the same. Because where I am in Louisville, 95% of the world's bourbon comes from a 70-mile radius of me. And I thought it was undermarketed, and it was such a great product. And I was born and raised in Kentucky, and I just love it. I actually love the thought of, some of our first T-shirts there at Bourbons Bistro said, "Bringing bourbon back one sip at a time." And so we were out to educate the world about bourbon through flights, through bourbon dinners with all the master distillers and single barrel programs. So I was one of the first. I was actually the first bar restaurant to ever buy a barrel of Four Roses. So I've done over 100 barrel picks just through the restaurant, and we've done bourbon dinners with everybody from Jimmy Russell to Pappy Van. I mean, you name it. Julian, whoever. I consider them friends of mine. I hope they consider me a friend. Maybe not, but
that's awesome.
They should.
I've met the best of the best and tasted the best of the best that's out there. I've done a single barrel pick in every distillery you want to mention, but that's kind of where I got my bones. That's kind of where I made my bones, and developed a pretty good palate, and everybody started digging my single barrels. Mm-hmm. So then I was like, well, maybe I should try to do this on my own, and have been supported through the whiskey community, the bourbon community, for sure. I mean, everybody's got my back. They're asking how they can help. It's great.
That's awesome.
I'm very fortunate.
So I love the name. So I'm curious as to how this came about, and I hope you have a really good story about how you come up with the name. But I really do love the name. I love the name. I remember the first time I saw the name, the brand, the bottle. I think I might have been one of the liquor stores around town, and I saw it, and I was like, man, that's a really cool bottle. It caught my eye, and I love the name. So I'm interested to see how you come up with that.
Well, with me, there's definitely a story behind it.
That's what I was hoping for.
So when I decided to do this, we wanted to start, and this is 10 years ago when it was early. It was really early. I wanted to do 36-inch column still. I'm going to make contract whiskey for a lot of people, and this is before. 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So we started putting this plan together. We found a farm out in Waddy, Kentucky. It was an old milk farm, and 180 acres, had a 200-year-old farmhouse on it. The couple was ready to sell. It was just, we had tax breaks, 2 natural springs on the property. We had people come in, survey it. We had an investor lined up. We were going to put 13 warehouses on that property. And it's halfway between here and Buffalo Trace or whatever. It's halfway between here and Frankfort. It's in Waddy, Kentucky. Had freeway frontage. I was going to put, barrel houses on the freeway and say, it was 1.6 miles off the freeway. And I'm like, if I can intercept 10 people that are going from Louisville to Frankfort, I'll be doing well, right? Well, we had a big investor lined up. We got to the altar, basically, and he left us hanging there. We lost the farm, but the road bordering that farm was called Buzzard's Roost Road. And I was like, that's what it's got to be called. And it was a push with some of my business partners to get that name.
Yeah.
because they didn't really want it. They're like, buzzards are. But then
Yeah.
when you start doing a little bit of research on it, they have the best noses in the bird business. So, and right, they're not very busy, right? They just kind of
Right.
hang out and wait. So it's
Yep.
like the world is so busy right now and so crazy. It's like sip and roost a while. So we got into that. They have the best noses in the business, and it's like you nose your bourbon. They're hanging out. Let's sip and roost a while. And I always pictured them in the moonlight, kind of overlooking my warehouses. But
No,
maybe one day that'll happen.
that's awesome.
I don't.
Sorry,
I love how
sorry you
things-
lost the farm, but I think it's a great story of how we got
literally,
the name.
literally lost the farm.
Also, well, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's still there. I mean, the road's still there, and
yeah.
still be there. I don't know if what they're gonna do. We
gonna
took
say
a
that
different
was-
direction. It's fine. We took a different direction, and it really,
Yeah.
it's a work in progress. But we'll see.
Of course.
We'll get
Well,
there.
I was gonna say
We hope.
we'll get to you've been able to do a little bit more in Louisville, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. You also just released just recently we talked about the signature double oak, but our second pour of the night is the 4-grain double oak bourbon that just came out. I believe limited release. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, once again, we're very transparent with what we do because we are in. Right now, we pay attention to the aging of it, the barrels, and what have you. So we are up and doing different whiskeys. We have a great partnership with MGP, and I told you what we do. We buy mainly MGP, ship it to Bardstown Bourbon Company, re-barrel it in all of our barrels, and then age it. What I've learned over the years from dealing with all those master distillers that 70% of the flavor comes from the barrel. So we started paying attention to that. So we're actually dealing with Middle West, and
I love them.
this was brought up maybe by them and by us. I don't know how it came about, but some 4-grain came across my desk, and I was like, and they were like, "Can we do anything with this?" And I thought it was good, and I said, "Well, let's give it a shot." So we, instead of putting it in barrels because it's such a short release, we do things. It's called a stave soak. So we cooked up some stave, obviously with Independent Stave Company, and Andrew over there is a great friend of mine, and we did a stave soak with this, and I thought it turned out pretty well. It still could use some tweaking for me, but I really liked it as a 4-grain, and so we're going to send some of that back to Middle West and see if they dig it. And then we'll maybe have another partnership there.
I like it.
But I like it. I think we did a good job with it, and we don't take bad whiskey. We can't do anything but bad whiskey. So we start with good whiskey to begin with, and we hope to just enhance that and make it better through natural processes, not by putting in port, not by adding anything to it. We just add oak, fresh oak to it.
Well, I was gonna say I'm loving what you're doing because it's funny. We've literally I've talked to Ryan many times from Middle West. He was an early supporter of us, and we just recently had Dan and the folks from Bardstown on. So man, we're right in your wheelhouse.
Yeah. I'm loving this.
No,
good nose.
I love it, but I still think I can tweak it a little bit more because we've got some different staves that I think would enhance it a little bit better. Like I said, this was a first run for us, and I think it turned out really, really well.
I agree.
And like I said, I told people you're not going to hurt my feelings if you don't like it, right? You're not going to hurt my feelings because we're always working for the best whiskey we can do.
It is interesting because this one's got it's got bourbon, rye, or corn, rye, wheat, and barley. Is that right? That's
Yeah,
four.
absolutely. I've got the mash bill somewhere here, but if you need that, I can find it. But
I also probably have that somewhere because I have the, I thought I pulled up all the press releases, and then I forgot.
it is 73 corn, 6 rye, 16% wheat, and 5 malted barley.
Nice.
And I was glad you told us because on the release it said from a trusted distillery in Ohio, and I was curious. I was like, the only one that I know that's to me that's big enough to handle some of that is Middle West with what Ryan and them have been able to do, and they've worked with a lot of different brands as well.
No, we've just started talking with them. I mean, it's yeah, I think they do a great job from what I've tasted, and I think we can work with them. You know,
It never hurts to have another partner, another dance partner.
I mean, we love MGP. Don't get me wrong, but at some point, you know, hopefully, and my progression will flip, and we're doing some secondary distillation now, but we want to do a distillery at some point, whether it's with a partner with somebody, but you know, I would love to get behind the still at some point. I mean, I think our secondary distillation is pretty good too. So,
Well, I was gonna
Nice.
say this is tasty. I'm enjoying
It's really good.
what you're doing with this the secondary dairy stuff, or kind of the secondary thing, because the four
Sure.
green's interesting. It's got a little funk
Yep.
for me on the back end, but got a good nose and a good start.
The back end almost kind of, it's almost, again, the back end almost kind of brings that, almost kind of like a Scotch flavor to it, for me anyway.
when I get that, I usually get that from malt, but you know, this is surprisingly low malt to me.
Yeah,
I would have, you know, my druthers would have went a little higher malt, maybe a little higher rye,
yeah,
a little bit less corn, but
Right.
but that
well,
malt's going to give you should give you a good mouthfeel. You know,
it does. Yeah,
Should give you this
It does.
viscous mouthfeel. But
yeah. But no, I like it. I think the nose is great. Um,
seems like almost like a summertime whiskey for me. Like
I don't disagree with that 100%.
it's a
Absolutely.
a little bit lighter, and
Yeah.
we do a toasted oak bourbon that's very good in the summertime. But
Mhm.
I would
Yeah,
think
you don't.
this would fare better in the summer.
Yeah. Now you don't have to disclose this if you don't want to, but what is the typical age stated range that you guys try to stay within, or like do you have a limit or parameter?
I mean, we're working with. I mean, you know, now that the industry being the way it is, I mean, we have a lot of whiskey available to us.
Yeah.
Our typical whiskey is 4 to 6 years.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's starting to get in since we've been in business because we bought a lot early.
Right.
Starting more, all of our stuff is getting to be more 5, 6, 7 years. Some of it's getting into 8 years.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we usually deal with.
Right.
Is we buy it we used to buy some rye at 3 years, then we'd age it in our barrels for a year or two or whatever. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
we're starting to get our age is starting to creep up there. You know,
Yeah.
I always used to say 4 to 6, and now it's more like
Yeah.
6 to 8.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah, it definitely answered.
Well,
Yeah, this is good.
and you talk about putting it in that secondary process. You guys have that secondary maturation. You use the char one. Why was that something you wanted to do? And kind of have that double oak, because obviously for a lot of other places the double oak's kind of a a special release for you all. That's your formula.
Well, it's more expensive, but I'm a traditional person with whiskey. I grew up with I was very fortunate to come up, like I'm a bridge between the old and the new. You know, I've met Freddie,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call him. You know, I've drank whiskey with all those guys and learned from all those guys. And then there's a whole slew of people coming up through there. And I wanted to start my own distillery because I'm very particular about my whiskey. And obviously, I couldn't afford that. So we had to start sourcing, and we had a great partner, and we still have a great partner with MGP. So what makes my whiskey any different is what I've learned from all those distillers that 70% of the flavor comes from the barrel.
Yeah.
So I just happened to meet the head of the wood research department at Independent Stave Company. And he's like, and I hated rye. He's like, I can make you like a rye. And I was like, if you do that, you know, I'll kiss your feet. I didn't kiss his feet, but he did make me like a rye, right?
Yeah.
You know, because he's like, I've got the whole barrel process is we can get vanillin, we can get caramels and these wood sugars that come out. We put a rye and finish it in these brand new oak barrels that have been toasted perfectly, that are going to bring on this caramel vanilla smoke type thing. And I'm like, this is unbelievable. And we use 95% rye. And I was like, I should hate this. It's high proof, high rye, and I should hate this, and I don't.
It's fantastic. Your rye is fantastic.
Yeah, because we put sipping whiskeys in the name because I prefer to do that. And I don't hate ryes per se. They're great for cocktails because they're going to stand up to anything you want to put on them. But as far as sipping whiskey goes, that's what I'm a huge fan of. I just love to sit around and sip whiskey.
Yeah.
The ryes were a little strong for me, you know, and they weren't even 95 ryes, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of ryes out there that they're just kind of grassy, a little bit hot, just a little different.
Yeah.
But you put them into our barrels, and it kind of softens that aspect of it, and it makes a great sipping whiskey because it's got that spice on the end, but it's got the sweetness on the front, and the proof is there, and you can still make a great cocktail out of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm biased.
Well, and it may come to a shock to everybody that's listening, but you know, rye is our favorite, or my favorite anyway. I always get sweetness from rye. I don't know why. I do. I don't know if it's just my taste buds or whatever, but I just get that. I get that, you know, burst of sweetness, but then you get the burn from the whiskey itself.
Yeah.
So,
there's no wrong answers, you know.
No.
You like what you like, and
Exactly.
I like what I like, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty biased,
But I like it all. That's my problem.
No, that's what my wife says. It's
Yeah.
because that's my problem. So
Yeah.
We get that too. They're like, you need to stop. We're running out of room. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Things just keep coming. I just somehow ended up with this bottle that came home with me. I'm sorry.
right. Oops.
Oops. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah. Fun. I love it. So what's next?
So our third pour,
Bottle and
we're going
bond?
to go to Bottled and Bond.
Oh wow.
Now, is this the weeded one? Is this? Did I read that
Yeah.
right?
That's the only weeded recipe we've ever done.
Ooh, 100 proof.
Yeah. My business partner, Judy Hollis, she convinced me into doing it. I mean, I
Did
used
it
to
take
be
some
a
arm
weeded,
twisting?
yeah, I used to be a weeded fan, and then just kind of fell off a little bit. But this is actually a really high wheat. It's 45% rye.
Yeah.
I mean, 45% wheat. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But we actually can put it in some spicier barrels. So I'm not going to put this high of a wheat into one of my vanilla barrels. I'm going to put it into one of my smokier or spicier barrels. And so I think at 100 proof, because it's a bottle and bond, I'm really happy with this one. And like I said, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you don't like it. But we try to have something out there for everybody. We've got high rise, and then we've got this weeded. And, I just love putting whiskey out there for everybody. I'm trying to find you something.
I like it. Now, you mentioned Judy.
Yeah.
Now, word on the street is that you did a barrel pick with her, and that's what led to launching the company. Is that kind
That's
of
true.
the story?
Yeah, that's pretty much true.
Yeah.
You came from the corporate world, and I didn't. And that should be obvious, but
no judgment here, man.
now she had retired she was Wendy's global supply chain. I mean, she
Wow.
has a great credentials,
Yeah.
but was retired, and she had bought some barrel or bottles from me. We did a single barrel pick at Four Roses or whatever, and
Yep.
she used some of those bottles for her clientele, and I knew that she had some connections in that world, and said, "Look, I want to start my own brand, and you're retired, and we get along, so you think you can help out?" And she's like, "Yeah," and she jumped in with both feet, and she started raising money, and friends and family and what have you. We're still raising money.
That's awesome.
She's good at what she does, for sure. She's the CEO, and I said, "Well, you do that, and I'll do the whiskey, and it should work out. We'll figure it out."
Then she tells you to do a weeded bourbon.
Yep.
And it turned out all right.
Turned out pretty good.
This is weird because normally the
pretty
weeded
damn
for
good.
me are a little softer. They're not as they're flavorful. They come in a whole different. They're not like the high rye bourbons and stuff like that.
Right.
This is,
Right.
but with
Right.
that different barrel you put it in, it's got a little more kick than I was
Yeah, it
expecting
does.
at all.
And for
I-
a 45% wheat's huge.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
And I think it brings it. I think it brings it for a weeded bourbon. It's not.
It's not what I was expecting at all.
It's
Like
not
that.
your mama's weeded bourbon. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I was going to say, I don't know. I'm not going to say I've never had 45% wheat, but I don't remember if I did. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this is.
So we counterbalance that with our barrels, and it's cool. I mean, the stuff we can do is really cool.
Yeah.
Well,
I love
it's
that.
so unique.
I love that.
Um,
I love how thinking outside the box, coloring outside the lines, not doing the.
I always did that as a kid. I was like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. Want to be different.
He's just kept it the rest of his life. I mean,
Yep.
look at that lovely goatee, man. That thing's
Yeah, that's
rocking.
awesome. That's badass.
Now,
well, nobody's going to buy a whiskey from a slick faced fat guy, right?
I can't fault you on that one. I can't.
Clean
fault you on
faced
that
fat guy. I've got nothing. Fat head guy. You're not going to do it.
Well, and I love your approach to everything too, because I think is it on Repeal Day or Bourbon Day where you roll the barrel down the street?
December 5th.
Things like that. Like you just
Repeal
do
Day.
things that you want to have fun and bring a little more focus to what bourbon is and what it's gone through.
Once I figured out what I wanted to do, and I was 45 or I don't know.
Last year.
Yeah. The bourbon thing's a cool thing. And I'm just in it to win it. I love the fact. I mean, and what's brought me to this point, you know, being in the restaurant business and being, you know, people focused and whatever. I love the bourbon industry. The people in it are fabulous. They've helped me tremendously, and you know, it's just such a tight knit community that I wouldn't want to be anywhere else in my life right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
And that's what I love about it because, you know, the older I've gotten and doing our podcast, doing our shows, doing all this stuff, you know, it's given me a greater appreciation, you know, because you can't have, well, you know, Kentucky is bourbon, bourbon is Kentucky. That's just is what it is. I was born and raised in Kentucky, as you were. You know, it's just our, you know, it's our heritage, man. It's like it's our thing. It's what we do, and we take pride in it. And the older I've gotten, and the more we do this and interview folks like you, and we drink all these variations of it, it's just, you know, it's just that, you know, that a sense of pride, and I love it, man. Like, you know, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I'd be like, who cares? But now that I've gotten into it, it's like, you know what? It is.
There's an art to it.
There is an art to it. There is a science to it. Not just an art, but there's a science to it.
And I love both sides of the art and the
Exactly.
science. And plus, you know, bringing the people side to it. You know, you guys
Correct.
doing the podcast, and every little bit helps. And like I said, when I started Bourbons, it was 21 years ago. You know, and didn't have a clue. Was just kind of proud of being a Kentucky boy, and this is bourbon.
Well,
right?
and for those that don't remember, 21 years ago, bourbon wasn't what it is now. Like it might have been at the start of that upward. Well, you know, I know we're kind of on a weird part now, but it wasn't. The bourbon trail wasn't what it is back then. You were kind of well ahead of your time.
There were 10 major distilleries. It was. That's what I just wanted to do, and I was out to educate the world about bourbon and keep trying to do it every day. And I'll be on the soapbox, you know.
Well, and you've got your spot down in Louisville now. You got the tasting room down there. I mean, you bring in. You're still doing some cool things. You got some tours, some pairings. I know you had Susan Riegler come through, do some talks, things like that. She's a fantastic one, and so forth. And where you just know so many people. What's it like to have that spot now to show off Buzzard's Roost? You know, because you had Bourbons Bistro, but now to have Buzzard's Roost have a spot, you know, they can fly home.
Cool. It's so cool to be on the original Whiskey Row. You know, I mean, that's where they used to, all the stuff would come in on a train or in a wagon, and they would, you know, even before steam power, they would roll it out to the river and put it on a flatboat and send it south. You know, it'd go to St. Louis, it'd go to New Orleans, and that was the hub of whiskey business, you know, from the 1700s. So it's been so cool. And then steam power would send it back up river, you know. So, but that's been the hub. And to be on the original Whiskey Row, we just really lucked out with the spot we've got. And we get people that just wander in because we're in with all the big boys, right? And we're a small brand. We're in Evan Williams, Old Forester, Michter's, BBC, whoever. We're in there, and people just walk in and say, "We never knew your brand. We never knew you were here." And what a very fortunate place to be in. You know, we couldn't wish for any better place for us to be. And we got in early.
Love it.
You know, it was good.
I love it.
Hey, there's nothing wrong. I feel like that's a pattern with you. You might be illiterate. You might not know how to work a computer. I don't know all those things, but you know when to time bourbon.
Yep, sure does.
I'm just above illiterate, but just above that.
Oh, that's too funny.
All right.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Because I spell whiskey with an E,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a little
Absolutely.
different over here.
not
We
without
do
an E.
things a little.
Yeah.
well, well, and
Or wait a minute,
well, no, you did.
which one do I spell it with? Yeah, I spell it with an E.
Well, I'm shocked. Yeah, I realized now you put sipping instead of sipping. You
Sipping.
could have dropped
Well,
that G.
that wasn't me.
Did you not have? Yeah. Did you get overruled on that one?
Yeah, there's a board of people that they try to quell what I do.
I get it.
It was sipping whiskeys, and then they wanted to change it, and that's fine. I got
That's fine.
outvoted.
But you did get Buzzard's Roost though, so you did win in the long run.
You did.
Yeah,
You
I
did.
think-
You did. So the fourth pour, I'm excited about.
And,
Because
You got
I didn't
it?
even know this was a thing. Like
It's probably going to be this one, isn't it?
the Fred Minnick's,
Oh, really? Y'all got wow, okay.
the club Marzipan.
Li-
Wow.
People
cool.
like us. I don't know. Things just happened.
It's a good beer.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it
So-
looks, the color's good. Like, oh my God, like
So Brandon, I'll give you the rundown. 6
Send it
years
to me.
old, 60 corn, 36 rye, 4% malted barley. It's his Club Marzipan single barrel bourbon, Fred Minnick's, and it's off of his book, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. But
right.
tell us a little bit about this single barrel pick that he kind of did, or the pick that he did that you guys were able to put out. I don't know if any is
Yep.
still left at the distillery or anywhere, but the Club Marzipan.
If there's any left, there's not much. I don't keep track of that. I'm just not on it on a daily basis. But Fred's a good friend of
Wow.
mine.
I mean, look at that
And-
color.
That's nice.
I mean,
Fred's a
Wow.
good friend of mine, and evidently I'm in the book, and he told me about it. So what I wanted to do with him, I was like, okay, since I'm in the book, and we've been good friends, and let's do a barrel pick, and for your club, because he hadn't done one before, and I was like, why don't we do a barrel pick, and we'll bring this out, and we'll kind of promote it as you and I, and it's a cool thing. So he came down, and we had some great picks there. We had about six or eight picks that we picked from, and it turned out great. And when you get barrel picks, they take them straight out of the barrel and they don't get aerated. But when they get bottled, they get aerated. So it's actually it blooms. It's much better even after you bottle it. So we finally decided on this one, and we were all good with it. It was great. And then it came after it got bottled, and he kind of freaked out about it, and he did a YouTube post. So I don't know I don't know how that works. Like I said, I'm kind of illiterate. If you could put that, he's got a YouTube post about this bottle and about his book and about everything. I don't know how you can link it to that or whatever, but it just came out, a week ago. So it was pretty cool.
We'll get to the book here in a second because I watched that last night. Everything he said because he reviewed his own thing.
You did? Okay, so you did that.
Which was pretty neat. But this is an interesting because everything else we've had is 100 proof. This one's 115.4, coming in at a little more complex. That color for
The other
6
colors.
years.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't tell me
colors.
that that's silly.
Yeah.
No, it really turned out to be a really, really good barrel, and we have a lot of single barrels like that are sneaky good at 115, and
So good.
you just never it doesn't drink like it's 115, and the color is beautiful. The nose
No.
is
This is
great.
dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I love that 115 wheelhouse too. 110, 115.
But
This is.
it drinks about 100 proof. I wouldn't
I
think
agree.
105 maybe.
I 100% agree.
I think that's why I'm like that's dangerous because like it's so much higher, but it doesn't burn you. It doesn't kind of gives you Brandon. We talk about this a lot.
And
That
that's what a lot of
juicy.
that secondary barreling does. You know, it still has the charcoal, which is a natural filter, right? It's
Right.
still got that char one, but it's got so much flavor to it, and it tones down. I think the alcohol for sure.
Yeah. Man, that's really good. I like it a lot. So, can you tell us on air? If not, it's fine. We can talk off air. But anything future coming? Like anything the crowd, the masses can get excited for um, upcoming? If you can't, that's no big deal. We can talk offline. That's cool. But
Well, we don't stop innovating, so we're definitely moving forward
fantastic answer.
with toast profiles and all this.
Yeah.
We're working with, and I usually don't work with different woods. I've
Right.
worked with a couple of woods that I don't care for, which is, I mean, I've made a statement to say that I don't, I've never really drank any Amberana that I like. But I'm working with some different toast profiles that we're doing. We're doing some fun stuff. No, I mean we'll see. We still have LTOs that come out every year. We've got our smoked one that is smoked with some Highland peat that we don't tell anybody about because bourbon people don't like Scotch until they taste mine.
Well, okay, maybe.
But
I'm excited to try that.
the French oak is always a good one. We're
Yeah.
still coming out with those, but we're believe me, we're constantly researching, and we've got experiments rolling right now that I'm excited about, but hopefully they'll turn out.
But there's not like one thing that you can say, hey, like it's coming up.
He doesn't read
It's
the
cool.
emails. He didn't read
I, I'm just
his.
asking. Hey, listen, if you can't, I get it. If you
I'm trying
can't,
to.
if
I'm honestly trying to think of what I could tell you that would be.
well, yeah, I know.
We're everything's still in the incubator right now.
I got you. I got you. No,
You
that's
know,
fair.
so I don't want to break it out too soon. But we've got a
No,
lot
no
of stuff
worries.
in there. We've got
No
a lot of
worries.
stuff in the basket,
Yeah, oh, I love it.
and I can't wait to break out some of them. I mean, I really can.
Can't wait to see them.
What's that?
Well,
All right. My wife just said that.
Oh,
So here's what we do at the distillery. We bring in barrels to where you can thief out, and we let customers thief their own barrels, right?
okay.
Thief their own bottles.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so when the barrel's full, it's fine because it only takes a couple of thieves to fill it. But when the
right.
barrel gets like this low,
Yeah.
it's
it's a lot of
impossible.
work.
So what we do is I've got a bourbon and a rye down there. So what we're coming up with is a burr rye because when it gets so low, we're gonna instead of single barreling those products, we're gonna blend them, and we have blend them, and the burr rye is unbelievable, and it's distillery only. So you can only get that down there, and there's only maybe 50, might be 100 bottles.
Not bottled yet.
But it's not bottled yet. But we're getting ready. We're waiting on a label approval, and we're going to do a burr rye at the distillery, and it tastes incredible.
That's just
Well,
evil. He just told us something
well,
evil. Now I don't
can you,
like it.
can you shoot me an email or a text or something? Let me know when that's coming so I can make sure I'm there for it
He
because I
asked me
will
to
be
shoot
there
him
for
an
that.
email, and I can't
I know it. You
really
saw
do
that,
it.
right? You heard that, right? That
Call
was
me. Just call me, dude.
yeah.
Text me. Text. I'm
Man,
good.
just take. Yeah, take.
I
There
can
we go.
text.
I love it.
Please text me. But yeah, we're going to do a burr rye down there. And it's going to be cool because it
Yeah,
already tastes good, and we've got the
yeah,
percentage down to where even
yeah.
if the barrels do, and we'll do a batch of that like
Yeah.
once the barrels run out, which is about every year,
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've been running through those barrels pretty quick. It's cool.
Yeah.
I
I would
love
love
that.
to try that.
Yeah, we're
Well,
working on that. So
and I
that's it.
and I
The
love how you
rest
talk
I'm
about like
still working on.
you got all that in the incubator,
Sure.
but it's fun too because when I was listening to Fred talk about the what we're finishing up on and everything and how your mind works. One he based well, yeah, I know that's probably scary, but um, he he talked a lot about how you were a very important part because you had some dusties, you had a lot of old stuff at Bourbon's Bistro up in the office, the old crow, obviously. What was it like to have? Find all these fun things to try and do and go back through and taste all that.
You know, before everybody got into it, it was cool
Yep.
because man, I had the run of the litter. Um, I could buy anything I wanted, and nobody knew really what they were selling. I mean, I wasn't out there taking advantage of people. They're just trying to get rid of shit that their grandpa had or whatever. And little did they know how great the whiskey was in them. And just like Fred says about the chest piece. But, I would put some rivals up there. I will say that that's probably the best whiskey I've ever had is the 59 to 69 chest piece. But, I'm good friends with Mike Veach, who is a bourbon historian. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's written a couple books as well. I did some Fitzgerald from the 40s, and then I had some from the 50s. And I'm not trying to be facetious here, but I was like, Veach, I love the Fitz from the 40s as opposed to the 50s. And he's a historian, and he did a little research. He said, I figured out why you like that, because they changed distillers. And it was just like, but, I had a mess hall from the Navy, old Fitzgerald. It was 4 years old. And it was unreal. And I was like, we can do this again. There's a way to make this 4-year whiskey again. And so that kind of, Fred went down the rabbit hole with the Old Crow, and I kind of went down a little bit of rabbit hole with the Old Fitz. And it's like, we can do this. And so I've done a lot of research, and once I get behind the big still, we'll figure it out. But,
That seems like a dangerous combination, you behind a big still.
well, and having the barrel knowledge I do have now that we have. So it's it's an ongoing thing, and I'm excited about it. I just love drinking good whiskey.
Same.
Well, man,
Love it.
you're making some good whiskey too, and I think that's why Brandon and I were so excited to have you, because these are some fun pours, some fantastic pours. Like I said, one of my favorite pours to this day is still your toasted rye. I'll go out anytime I see
Same.
it, order it. So like what you're doing, and I feel like you're always one step ahead, which is even more impressive. Even if you can't do an email,
Yeah.
you're still one step ahead.
One
I'm
step
getting old.
ahead. Yeah.
I'm getting old. I gotta stay one step ahead of those guys.
I love it. I love
Oh man. Well, so I guess for me, my last question is: obviously, you've got the place down there, the tasting room down in downtown Louisville on Whiskey Row. You got Bourbons Bistro. Anything any other fun thing? I know you got a lot in the incubator for releases. Any other fun things happening that way that you can talk about? Because I think National Bourbon Day is coming up. There's different things coming up. So
Just being silly, I thought that they've put bourbon on train cars. They put them on boats. I think we're going to put it in a balloon and just kind of float it
Yep.
across the world. I'm actually kidding. No, not really.
I wouldn't put that past somebody. though.
No, it wouldn't shock me, honestly.
I thought what was next with that, but no, I don't know. I mean, I just enjoy what I do every day, and it's I'm very blessed, you know, and I like I said, I always tell people I've had worse jobs for sure, and dug ditches and been a welder, and I love this job. I love making good whiskey, and I strive to make better whiskey. That's all I want to do. I want to make the best whiskey on the planet, but you know it's all subjective. So, you know,
Absolutely.
if I could
You got a
be
good palate, though.
one of the top 10, one of the top 100, I think that'd be great.
Well, I will second what Fred said, and Fred's got a little more pull than I do, but I think everything you've done deserves maybe a spot next to some of those folks that you got to hang out with all those years ago in the Hall of Fame. So I
Fred's
will throw
got
that
more
out
pull
there.
than I do.
Oh man,
Can we get Fred
doing
on?
some good stuff.
He's done a great job for the industry, and
We need to get Fred on, John. We need to talk to Fred. Because I want to talk to Fred about Jason. I want to talk to Fred about Jason.
you
I'm
need
sure
to
there's
talk,
some stories there.
you need to talk
Yeah.
to Freddie. No, you need to talk to Freddie. No.
Oh, Fred.
There we go.
I need to see-
Whoa. All right. Okay.
I
Now
need
we're
to see-
talking.
I need to see him again. He's
Maybe we can have all of us on. That would be.
is the best in the business. Like he's a great
Yeah.
guy. If there's if you can find it, there's a great documentary out there that was made in 2014, but it kind of got sequestered. I don't know why. You know, everybody saw Neat, right? Didn't everybody?
Yep.
Everybody saw Neat. You got to look up Bourbon Tucky, and I'm going to push for this because not only am I in it, because I'm obviously
Yeah.
biased about it, but there are so many great people in it, and it's Bourbon Tucky's done very well, and if you can find it, and we're trying to get it back out on the market because
Yeah.
it's such a good thing with the bourbon industry. It's got everybody in it, you know.
Yeah.
And if you think about back in 2014, so
That was a hell of a time.
Yeah, it was.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was.
Brandon, you
Yeah.
got anything else for Mr. Jason?
I don't. This has been a pleasure. Literally, like just drinking and sipping all these whiskeys. Been a pleasure of mine. So thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you for
thank
coming
you all.
on.
I mean, I thank you all for having me.
Oh no, thank you
Man.
for
Really
being.
appreciate it. And if you're,
Absolutely.
you know, I mean, hell, you're only in Lexington.
No, yeah. No,
And
we will definitely.
come to the distillery, come to the restaurant. We'll go to the office and have some sips of some of those old.
I've heard the office is a fun place to be, so we might take
doesn't
you up on
suck.
that.
Well,
well, Jason,
We'll definitely hit you up on that for sure.
and I'll leave it at this when I hit the end button. This has been fantastic. This
Yes.
definitely sucks. Buzzard's
100%.
Roost, folks. If you haven't, go find it. You'll be pleasantly surprised. Jason and them are doing some fun things, and man, thank you for the time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Appreciate it. Cheers.
Appreciate it.